Race theory.
Vale. Para eso y a ver si le podemos comer la cabeza para que nos deje pasar por allí. ¿Sabes algo del café al volante que anda suelto?
Traffic. I'm sorry, officer, but I don't drive.
Espera, ¿por qué no conduces? Pero no escuchaste nada de que se pasó por el
Now that
tejado.
I think about it, I do remember hearing a thunderous noise the other night. Some kind of powerful electric vortex.
That sure narrows down our list of suspects.
Un torbellino. Qué pasada. Quiere decir que no tienes ni idea de quién era el conductor.
He shakes his head slowly.
Vale, pues lo de la electroquímica tampoco ha hecho gran cosa. Tenemos un nuevo nivel. O yo puedo con mi nivel de esto. Vale, con mi habilidad yo puedo olvidar una para introducir otra. O para desbloquear otra idea. Y vamos a desbloquear esto. Desbloqueamos un hueco. El desbloquear un hueco ya no te deja subir de nivel alguna otra habilidad de estas. Vale. Pero es bueno tener más huecos por si quiero autocrítica. Reino de la conciencia, ventajas temporales total. Bueno, ya miraremos que... Vamos a hablar con el hombre este, con el loco de los tatuajes. Vamos a hablar con
The
él.
unpromising race pupil returns.
Creo que sé cuál es el enigma racial.
And
Habrá que decir prácticamente planeas desbancar los occidentales por su propia teoría racial. Vamos a decir esto.
look, babe. The rich man has humiliated and emasculated this couple. He can only think in base materialist categories and feminine abstractions like money.
Rich man really fucked him over, Jean.
His rage is already played out on the stage of history as the grotesque tragedy of revolution. All it can accomplish now is impotent academic text and neurosyphilitic rock and roll melancholy. Impotent class warrior. I take pity on you. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad, like a little boy who wants to go on the potty. I can press the button for you. It will open the door.
No necesito la conversión. La clase obrera se alzará en un mar de sangre. Y tus amos ricos y yo soy de él. Es lo único que quería.
Very well. You may enter the door once.
Finally. Let's go.
Bien. Apretado el botón. Ah, sí, por aquí. Wow. Folleto es la parte superior de cada miembro de la junta. En la parte inferior del logo del sindicato y la exige democracia. La máquina de escribir modelo de el nombre de figura de parte posterior. Madre mía, bueno, hay cosas aquí. La radio emite extraños zumbidos. Vamos a ver, no. No vamos. En el mueble, el archivador de toda la vida, los cajones están cerrados con llave. Se han dejado la máquina de café encendida. Oscuro el líquido de la taza casi... Darle... El libro, bueno, usar el botón directamente inventario y inspeccionar el libro. Oh.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close.
It's unfortunate for the union to just leave their paperwork lying around.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks.
No abrir
The
archivador.
drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders,
Con las
hundreds of
carpetas.
documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Couron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Algo
It's hard to
interesante.
make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You
Vamos a
try to
echarlo.
focus, but the line
Casi un
is blurry.
60%. Puede tocar que no, pero bueno.
Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough.
Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten
Reviso la
note.
nota.
It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everard's plants, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out and the note itself is crumpled.
Mira, aquí en una lista de tareas para hacer para
Everard
Everard.
Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list.
Echarle otro vistazo a la
Leo,
nota.
Everard's shoe.
no,
All
no.
items on the list.
Vale.
The drawer slides shut.
Perfecto. Pues ahora habrá que hablar con este señor, con el de la revuelta, ¿no? Esta me la llevo. A ver qué tenemos por aquí. Me la llevo. Visión espacial y teatril. -1 en teatralidad. Vale. Visión espacial. Debería de ir poniéndome las cosas que yo considere. A ver, esto.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change."
Vamos a ver qué pasa.
The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move.
Buah, no va a salir. No tengo esa conectividad. A ver.
Your fingers run over the dial
vale.
pad. 005.
Vale.
That's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952. And a moment of calling. Calling. Still calling. Then
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy. How may I help you?
¿Dónde llamo?
Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy.
Vale. No, me refiero a qué significa ese lugar para mí. ¿Me conoces? ¿Por qué te he llamado?
Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period?
Mi nombre es Rafael. ¿Tiene algo a mi nombre? No. Tal vez, pero ni siquiera sé mi nombre.
If you need any further assistance, you can visit us on the corner of Voyager and Main. I can't help you over the phone. Are we done?
Si necesitamos ayuda, puede visitarnos en la esquina del camino del viajero con la principal. Suena molesto, no puedo ayudarle más a través del teléfono. ¿Alguna cosa
he
más?
thinks you're pulling a prank on him.
Ya,
The
me
call
imagino.
is terminated by the other party. You're left with the discomforting sound of the
Bueno, pero ya investigaremos qué es eso en esa llamada. Aquí 100% esto ya está, ¿no? Es que claro,
The file cabinet stands steady as ever. Sliding out, the drawer slides shut.
vámonos. Y por aquí vamos arriba. ¿Esto qué es? La puerta cerrada no se puede abrir desde el lado sin una tarjeta. La tarjeta que había en una persona que estaba borracha en el hotel. No pudimos conseguirla. Y esto nos lleva a otro lado. Estoy recogiendo agua de la lluvia. ¿Por aquí yo puedo pasar? No. Pensaba que sí, porque como acababa la valla por ahí. Que había esa posibilidad, ¿no? Y por aquí. Uy, 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 uy. 3 paquetes de cigarros de colillas. Numerosas botellas vacías en rojo.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, "Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breathe. You need to rest. Your body is aching. Getting in here has taken something out of you. Have a seat."
Sentarse y descansar, venga.
The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons. The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. They are slightly out of date.
Lee los defectos
Oh boy,
secundarios.
where to start? Elevated risk of dementia, mini strokes, prophet's disease.
Joder, muchos.
Maybe this was a bad idea.
Levantarse.
You stand and exit the booth.
Aquí es donde trabaja René. Voy a echar un vistazo a buscar por la garita.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's it's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, René, is dressed in a Royal Carabinieri uniform. The girl is young and very pretty. René looks like he's about to smile. This photo must be tied to some good memories.
Why did you take that picture of René?
Voy a preguntarle, soy poli, recopilar pruebas, algo instintivo. Quiero hacer un fotomontaje. Voy a hacer
Fine. But let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping around here.
Vale, irte. Vale, pues yo creo que lo vamos a dejar por aquí por hoy, ¿eh? Vamos a ver qué hay por aquí. Ropa, Savoir-faire, -1. Electroquímica, +1. Ese es el que tenía antes. Visión espacial y teatralidad. Teatralidad tengo 4. Visión espacial serían 5 y 3 de esto. Vamos a ver. Enorme máquina. Calma, vamos a ver. Vamos a terminar de bajar. La cubierta de vino blanco parece tal. Un ojo compuesto de luces halógenas de vigilia emite un pequeño zumbido. Vale, ¿qué hay que pasar? ¿Esto qué es? Tío. Vamos a ver qué tenemos aquí. Distingue la desgastada serigrafía industrial de la plataforma que Balsam, que Ardeno Balsam significa fiordo de la ballena. Vale. Vamos a seguir investigando un poquito. Claro, la grúa esta es la que podemos, creo que, mover desde abajo. Vamos a seguir echando un vistacillo. Vale, eso es para verlo desde ahí arriba. Nada más por aquí, parece ser. La megafonía está en silencio. No hay trabajo que organizar en la terminal. Una maleta ahí. Vamos a echar un vistacillo. El almizcle de aceite y óxido proviene del abismo que tiene delante y no lo he debido de leer todo. No me deja hacer nada. Yo no tengo objetos. Una palanca no, pero algún tipo de ganzúa o algo estaría bien. Porque con esto, dime tú, con esto que yo quiera, no voy a poder hacer absolutamente nada. Sí, con la palanca sí. Has conseguido un objeto, guantes. Vamos a ver. Ropa. Tenemos estas gafas. Que me las puedo poner. Visión espacial, teatralidad. Entiendo, bueno. Ahora para ver un poquito todo está bien, hombre. Y esto +1 en instinto. Electronomía, pues en instinto. Vamos a subir. Me gusta más eso. Vale. Vamos a coger el dinerito. Aquí tenemos el tamaño industrial, huele a café quemado. Y podemos seguir por allí. Vale, tenemos otra persona aquí. Cantando. Container. La cubierta se hunde bajo el peso de la lluvia y nieve. Olas blancas sobre el rojo. Vamos a hablar con esta persona de por aquí.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisunt on Muindi.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
Vamos a hacerle ahí.
Everard, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like an arsehole for no apparent reason.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
Pues sí lo soy, ¿no? Pero ¿qué os pasa con los esquirles? Bueno, vamos a
I
hacer
mean,
eso.
I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
La verdad.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
Eres oriundo de Ubi, ¿verdad?
Oh, yes. Born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then. Too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No, sir. Those are just nasty rumors.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
¿Qué hace con los
Oh,
containers?
I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
Vamos a probar, ¿no? Casi un 60%.
Everything is so pretty and red. You and Leo look like brothers as you glance around with similar childlike wonder.
Vamos a...
Sure is, mister. Sure is. Really livens up the place. Yes, it does.
I had to break this bonding moment, but the red containers mean they are replacing the company livery with the union livery, which means this strike isn't gonna stop anytime soon.
¿Dónde se ha metido todo el mundo? Esto está desierto. Bueno, trabajas aquí, eres... ¿Es esta? No, ¿ves? Pidiendo más cubiertas. Esto sería buena pregunta, yo creo. Busco al jefe del sindicato, ¿no? Vamos a preguntar
Oh,
esto primero.
yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about the
Sopa de
borscht.
borscht.
Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's
No está bien, ¿no?
bulldogs
Que de
every
vez en
time
cuando
the
hay un
lunch is
personaje un
done.
poquito más alegre. Gracias, Leo. ¿Te puedo hacer otra pregunta?
Oh, absolutely, mister. What do you want to know?
Trabajas aquí, evidentemente. Eres el tal de que escribió tal... Esto, lo del container de allá
that
arriba.
one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
No sé más que preguntar, la verdad. ¿Trabajas
Yes,
aquí?
yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard,
No voy a
by the
contar
way.
nada más,
Leonard
por lo que
Bellick.
parece,
I'm
yo
like
creo.
Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand...
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes I am, yes I am.
Un momento, ¿quién es esa señorita Bunford?
Oh, Lizzie, she is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly.
He respects that word. That's obvious.
But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day.
For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in his eyes.
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years, she has.
So Everett trained a lawyer named Miss Buford. Interesting.
Una abogada, vale. Parece que desempeñas un gran trabajo aquí, Leo.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright.
The white rectangle on your clothes might not mean an awful lot in Martinez, but the recognition from an authority figure made Leo's day.
Le pregunto todo. Esto va a ser evidentemente por la huelga, pero yo que sé, a lo mejor...
Look, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping
Claro.
the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is.
Mejor
You
me da
don't
una
have to work when you're on
información
strike.
relevante, no lo sé.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Like
Nada,
what,
vamos a hablar de
mister?
otros asuntos. Busca al jefe del sindicato, que es el... No es el del otro,
Oh,
el
you
Elvio.
want Mr. Everard then?
El señor Everard,
He's
sí.
guys
ya
like
lo
Mr.
sabemos.
Everard. Oh, Mr. Everard is usually in his
Nada,
office.
pues
Bye-bye
me voy a
now.
ir. ¿Ya está? ¿No lo he visto
Looks
antes
like
esto?
someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. The white rectangle of the Revachol Citizens Militia. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Creo que es la mía, sí, sí.
Yes, it does bear the RCM insignia. And we are the only detectives in Martinez.
¿Crees que debería
The
recogerla?
service
Sí.
cloak issued to you by your station? Yes, I...
As your
Coger la
fingers
capa.
touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours. That's
El mensaje de la capa. Vamos a ponernos la capa, ¿no? O sea que es nuestra. Ok. Spirit Matter. ¿Y esto dónde se coloca? ¿Aquí? Ahí. Perfecto. Pues vámonos con la capa.
a rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Arrête. Off. Marsh. On. Arrête. Off.
March.
With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Parece que baja. Vale. Se va a caer.
And, with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. This crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. To move this container.
Que hay en su
Who can
interior.
say? All you know is,
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Vamos a ver lo que hay. A ver si me deja ver lo que hay dentro del container.
before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Teniente, el container es importante.
Is this like your thing with that wall again?
No es algo distinto. Puede, no sé, no es algo distinto, no quiero pintarlo, me siento atraído a él. No, no sé, creo que deberíamos investigarlo.
Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
Porque estaba suspendido, no lo sé quién, siento que es especial, puede que haya contrabando e inspeccionar el
There
container.
may very well be, but we are not here to look for that. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to get the...
Abrir la
You
puerta.
attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically
Cerradura
locked.
mecánica.
To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. No reply.
Convencer... No.
You attempt to your left. The lieutenant can...
Nada más sabe. Mira, alguien se ha dejado algo en la mesa.
A large table with 2 huge vacuum-insulated thermal coffee dispensers. Someone has forgotten a small plastic card next
se ha dejado
to
una
the stacks of
tarjeta roja.
café into a discarded coffee cup. You see nothing exceptional. It's a dirty cup, smudged brown, with old ground coffee stuck to the bottom. Slowly getting... Look closer.
Mira más de cerca.
If you squint your eyes enough, the coffee grounds almost seem to make up 2 letters, F and K. It's a clue.
¿Una pista de
A
qué?
clue about the person behind all the murders.
Sí, claro, no creo.
Yes, of course. It's certainly not just an example of pareidolia, noticing patterns in noise. It's meaningful, I swear. You just wait. I've got the case nearly busted wide open.
Ajá, menudo fenómeno permite. Teme que dude de los pozos del café sean la clave de la
You
investigación
would be
policial.
correct.
Nah. Coge
You
la
search
tarjeta.
out the red plastic
Coge la
card.
tarjeta.
It features a black contour of a crane lifting a container. The name, Etienne Hogarth, is written in the middle. Below it, in smaller text, member of the board. It
Para
comes
abrir
with
puertas
a magnetic
electrónicas.
strip.
Perfecto. Pero eso quiere decir que el container también. Por el candado mecánico ese. Habría que verlo, ¿eh? Una escalera hecha de pallets. Uf, es como una especie de... vale. Un pez disecado, de reloj. Vale, vamos a echar un vistazo aquí. Han retirado todo lo que estaba sobre el escritorio. ¿Podemos ir más para acá? No parece. No hay nada más. Veremos si con esa tarjeta podemos echar... Y por aquí, a ver. Deja como documentos inclinados a la vista. Por aquí no hay nada más. No. Curioso esto, ¿eh? No hay nada más por aquí. Puedo ir aquí. Es que no me deja. Vale. Vale, pues nada, vamos a salir. Y esta tarjeta, envoltorio del chicle, instantánea. Esto va a dar igual. Un 42, conectividad. Esto es una tirada de habilidad básica. Si fallas puedes intentarlo. No, intentarlo. Mira, por superada.
The 2 sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know,
sí, abrir el
without
compartimiento.
resistance or sound, the 2 panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. 2
Okay,
ticket
dentro.
stubs and a handmade postcard.
Coger los
2
resguardos.
octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East.
Vale.
The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Coger postal y
Thin wax
proceder.
paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Olerla.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored, exactly like the gum wrapper you found. The same brand of chewing gum.
Abrirla.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's head. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
Páramelo de seguir leyendo.
Your hand shakes holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon. But you, every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector. A streetcar distancing. You feel the ledger slip from your hand.
Caer en redondo. Has perdido un objeto. Portapapeles dañado. ¿Qué? Caer en redondo. Disco Elysium. ¿Qué acaba de pasar?
There is nothing. Again.
¿Qué? Otra vez.
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout. Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia. That's me. Blue eyes, that's me. Is it? The world is gone. You are no longer reacting to outward stimuli, yet still.
A bitter caustic sense of loss remains. Even in the darkness, great sorrows slip in the water. Slimy.
No, estaba bien.
The cool when you're dead.
Ah, no.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it. Because it's always there.
Desde el camino del viajero también había algo de una Caterina. Basta, quedarte tendido y quieto. Ya
You
está.
think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
Oh,
No voy a
but
volver.
you are. They're pouring something on you.
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
¿Dónde estoy?
The upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
Beber.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
Entre en contacto con las ruinas. No. Estaba deshidratado, no volverá a pasar. Yo, a la mierda, empezar a salir claro. Eso mismo iba a preguntarte yo.
You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
¿Cuánto tiempo llevo
10
inconsciente?
minutes, maybe.
Unos 10 minutos. Wow. Entré en contacto con las ruinas carbonizadas del pasado, teniente. Creo que es esto.
That does sometimes happen.
Portapapeles del odio y el fracaso. A veces pasa. Vale.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
A sentirse más.
Good.
Adelante.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under...
Y otra idea. Esto no lo puedo olvidar hasta que no coja tal. Autocrítica se está haciendo. Interiorizar. La autocrítica estaría bien. Tenemos ese hueco, a ver. O a lo mejor, a ver, parar un momento. El luto blanco. Ventajas temporales de investigación. El pequeñín se aleja cada vez más. Duración de la investigación. 5 horas. Hacemos este. A lo mejor es una forma de superar el pasado. Vamos a interiorizar este. Son 5 horas. Vale. No puedo negociar con él.
Yes. Have you got it?
Me preguntaba si podríamos llegar a algún tipo de acuerdo para esta
Does
noche.
that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
Kini está a punto de decir algo, dejarlo hablar.
I understand your predicament as the manager. However, I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also affects your business.
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking, and...
He shrinks back a bit under the lieutenant's severe gaze.
A ver, tiene
I mean no
su
offense.
razón.
It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment.
No va a ninguna parte, ¿verdad? Un momento, todavía tengo la
Good
llave.
luck trying to use it. All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before your guest key will open the lock.
Esta conversación no va a ninguna parte,
Not
¿verdad?
until you bring me the money.
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
¿Cuánto ha terminado
I
aquí?
really
Vale.
didn't want to resort to this. The man is thinking.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Vale, tenemos aquí todavía varias. A ver, estas son completadas. Llama a Liz dentro de un día. Sé lo que tengo que hacer dentro de un día. Vamos al carruaje, ¿no? Del pobre Kim.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
Transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage.
A ver.
As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch.
No, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They are also fragile.
Vale.
The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat.
I confiscated these 4 a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
Dijiste algo de una tienda de empeños, ¿no? Gracias, aprecio tu ayuda.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners.
Vale, paga el estropicio. Lleva los dogolos a la tienda de empeño del local del sur de la plaza. Vamos a ello. Es 24 horas. Ok.
Greetings on this fine night. What brings you here?
¿Cómo que la tienda sigue
The
abierta?
pawn shop is always open.
Vale. Esto es electroquímica 28%. Bueno. Yo quiero vender. Tengo algo que me gustaría vender.
We'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners appear iridescent in...
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince for them? Jump and miss, banger. No, Matt.
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
Of course. I meant no offense. 200 real for you, officer. Delightful doing business with you.
Thank you. Here's the 130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The rest is for him. To compensate for the pain of being separated from his radiant spirit, the windfall is a small consolation.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
No, eso no la mostró el fiambre, no. No tengo nada más que vender. Nos vamos. Nos vamos. Hay algo aquí. Nada, es esto. La figura y ya está. Pues nada, volvemos. A ver. Me pone... El dinero que has conseguido con los dos. Vale. Vámonos. Vamos a ver.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it?
Tengo tu dinero.
Well.
Esto que es aquí tiene 130 reales. Ahí tengo 150. Esto es... Estampar los billetes contra la barra. Ojalá te atragantes con ellos. No, aquí tienes. Siento mucho las molestias.
Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow.
He's not sorry about his behavior for your sake. Now that you have money, he really wants to make sure you're not...
The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow.
Cerrar la electrónica de su habitación hasta mañana a las 9 de
Please
la
pay
noche.
for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real.
I'll take a
Perfecto.
room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
Nada, vámonos de una. Tenemos para subir de nivel si queremos algo de aquí. La empatía nos vendría muy bien para el tema de... para el niño. Vamos a subir esto, yo creo. Coordinación mano a ojo, bravado a punta. Tenerlo al 4 yo quería sería perfecto. Aceptar, sí. A ver, soy policía, es lo que hay. Debería tener un poquito eso hecho. A
This
nuestro
is the
apartamento.
door to the room you redecorated.
Buenas noches, teniente.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Muy bien, vamos. El progreso de la investigación. Bueno, no sé cuál.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then...
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
No me da igual eso que fume. ¿Cómo crees que ha ido hoy? Entonces, como la TR, ¿cuáles son nuestros... ¿Cómo crees que ha ido hoy?
We inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. I would say our initial inspection was very thorough, and we have solid leads to follow up on. The body is still hanging from that tree, which is unfortunate. And there's still much to do at the crime
Claro,
scene.
es que eso...
He is not particularly satisfied with your progress, but he doesn't want you to feel completely discouraged. Probably out of fear that you'll just give up and keep drinking.
Todo es parte del plan, empezar desde fuera y trabajar hacia la escena del crimen. Siento no haber podido hacer más hoy. Como policía dejo mucho que desear, ¿no? Contemplar la... Ahora mismo sí, pero bueno, lo he intentado. No te preocupes, que estaré mucho
I
mejor
look
mañana.
forward to that. As for the interviews, we didn't get to meet Evrard Claire, but we did get into the harbor. It'll be easier to reach him tomorrow. We talked to Joyce Messier, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much, it really must be important.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
¿Cómo? No, yo qué sé. Bueno, es que no me gusta perder el tiempo, mi mente se mueve rápido, el resto intenta seguirle el ritmo. Me estoy entrenando por una carrera a fondo, sí, es como una de las que estamos en el 41, no sé. Bueno, que no me apetece perder el tiempo y por eso lo hago rápido.
Especially for a man your age. And in those hills.
Se analiza todo, en el juego.
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
Entonces, total, contemplar la noche sin decir nada. Entonces, como la MCR, ¿cuáles son nuestros poderes exactamente?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
Entonces alcanzan los 1.000 reales, chaval. ¿1.000? Porque nomás no se podría abusar de ese poder con bastante facilidad.
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
Bien, ¿qué más?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
Espera, ¿cómo nos aseguramos de que el arrestado se presentará?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
When power calls you, you come. But power itself is a fragile trick of perception.
Ya veo, ¿y si alguien se resiste?
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
Espera, entonces si mato a alguien estamos de servicio. ¿Alguna vez has matado a alguien? ¿Qué pasa a la gente que condenamos?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courant and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
Espera, entonces si mato a alguien está estando de servicio.
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for
¿Y quién establece estas reglas?
The coalition government and the moral intern, more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
Or if they think you do.
Vale. ¿Qué es Moraliter?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
De veras que no lo sé. Así de mal está la cosa.
Okay. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
Pues no vamos a meternos tampoco
Do you?
en eso. Y luego las cosas están jodidas ahí fuera, señor Roto. Lo necesitamos aquí, otorgándonos los derechos de proteger Revachol. Eso es real. Aquí han hecho un trabajo pésimo. ¿No ves este sitio? Las cosas están jodidas. Eso también es real. Somos... Esto es...
In fact, we would need them even if you didn't think that way. We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
Ya, justiciero no es algo que suene muy bien.
Sadly, it is what we already are to the people of Martinez. Most of them, at least, especially the Union. Vigilantes. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
Contemplamos la noche sin hacer
dying
nada.
lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like
Casi nuestros
luminous
propios
clouds, they
pensamientos.
pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here. An aerostatic passes overhead, the whiskers of its floodlights on the ground below. Kitsuragi's glasses light up as he looks to the sky. 2 glowing circles.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different in land, in Jamrock and the GRIH. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our 2 precincts.
Y en Jamrock y Sgrip,
We run this city. West of the river is our
Jepir.
land.
Jepir.
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works, our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
Night. Captain Ptolemy Price steps into the yard. A piebald horse waits by the motor carriage, chewing oats out of an oat bag. Seagulls fly overhead. The sky is black. Captain Price wears a black suit and a standard patrol coat as he mounts the horse to head home. Rows of houses on either side, hunching over the sidewalks, and Precinct 41 with its dome roof growing distant. Around him, the streets are silent. A kid on the corner waves at the captain as he takes the turn on Petition and Main. The horse neighs. The captain nods back. Thanks, kid, he thinks. He's grateful.
Espero que nuestra investigación ayude a mejorar la situación por aquí, o al menos a sacar algo bueno de todo esto.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes. Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Vale. Deberé por la mañana. Aquí ya no hay nada más, ¿no? Vamos a echar un vistacillo.
The bed is cold and not particularly
Me
inviting.
meter de entre las sábanas. A dormir.
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep. And then sleep doesn't come.
Pero yo quiero dormir.
Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not
Esto
happening.
nos ha pasado alguna vez.
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
Revisar la almohada, ponerse de otro lado. Yo me pongo del otro
It's a
lado.
little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
Basta de pensar, es hora de
Your
dormir.
breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your
Hay
sleep
que descansar.
and images start forming.
Wow. What?
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
¿Qué es
What it
esto?
says on the can, Harry. Answer the question.
No recuerdo nada.
Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
La dejé, me dejó. La mano de
Do you
quién.
remember the warmth of her thighs between her legs and in her mouth?
Me dejó.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
Puedo recuperarlo todo. No quiero
They
volver.
were only cramping your descent into the abyss. Now they're gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. All of it. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
¿Qué es Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Islas. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
Puedo recuperarme de esto.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
Tengo la mente cansada y rota.
Your mind is what now? I can't hear you. The rest is just a word dream. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
Otro tipo de resaca. Que no.
Oh yes, party boy. And it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Wow.